Live from ATCE 2024, the Society of Petroleum Engineers presents SPE Tech Talk.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the Energy Stream stage here at ATCE 2024, located inside the exhibit hall of the Ernest N. Morial Convention Center in New Orleans, Louisiana. Thank you for joining us for this live SPE Tech Talk with ComboCurve. I'm your host for this broadcast, Trent Jacobs. Modern energy companies have complex processes, data, and tools that span across multiple different teams in an organization. We all know this, everybody's seen this problem. But to solve it, companies are looking for ways to unify their data in all of those various tools. That means they need a data management strategy. That means they need a data warehouse. And unifying your tools means that you need to bring multiple workflows together across different teams and somehow still keep everybody happy. We're joined today with ComboCurve to talk about what they're doing on this issue and how they get companies working on the same sheet of music. A great way to interact with us today is to say hello. Let us know where you're watching from. If you have any questions or comments, please type those into LinkedIn, or if you're watching on the Energy Stream platform, you know how to do that, and we will try to get to them a little bit later. Before we begin, though, let's take a look at a question that we want to ask our audience. If you could answer this if you're watching online. In an average work week, how many different teams do you work with? So put that answer in, and we're going to take a look at what you said at the end of the show. All right, let's get started. First, we have Trevor Owen, Director of Technical Engineering with ComboCurve. Trevor brings over 12 years of oil and gas engineering experience. In his current role, he works with clients to identify opportunities for efficiency and assist with implementing and executing those solutions. Previously, Trevor served as a technical advisor with Enverus and held reservoir and production engineering roles with various operators. Next, we had Dylan Breaux, a senior technical engineer with ComboCurve. Dylan also brings over a decade of oil and gas experience. He previously worked as a reserves and A&D engineer, where he managed a database of over 12,000 wells and executed both large and small acquisitions. Previously, Dylan also managed assets for Devon Energy in the Eagle Ford Shale. And finally, we have Ryan James, who's joining us today from Marathon Oil. He has an extensive background in upstream oil and gas as a reservoir and development engineer in North American unconventional shale plays. His focus is now in the Delaware Basin, where he's helping streamline workflows and harness data in new ways for his company. All right, thanks, guys, for being here. I'm glad that you could join us. Trevor, let's begin with you. Can you set the stage for us? Tell us, what are we talking about when we mean, unifying data and tools? Just, spell this out for us.
Yeah, absolutely. So speaking from my past specifically, we're creatures of habit, of course. So a lot of times, we keep things in those proprietary Excel sheets or maybe folder structures that are a little bit disparate in nature. So what we really mean when we start kind of unifying the whole workflow, it starts with the data. So really getting everything into a consolidated place. There's a lot of options out there, from Snowflake to Synapse and things of that nature. But making sure that you have a golden standard to really interact as a business with all the inputs that you can trust, whether that's, accounting information, production, obviously, or obviously the algorithms that run your business when it comes to forecasting. And so just consolidating that into a place that everybody can access and interact with.
It's almost like a symptom of, sort of the digital, revolution that's been, underway for the past several years. At this point, everybody's got tools that they love, that they got their favorites, and that sort of created a little bit of mission creep on the digital revolution.
Yeah, exactly. One of the bigger things is really everybody just buying in to, being kind of tech forward and buying into, moving on from some of the ways that we have managed that data in the past and taking that leap.
Okay, and I want all of you to try to get on this next question. For everybody watching, can you just talk about this disjointed workflow? Like, what does that look like? And give me an example of sort of how it impacts, your job or jobs in general.
Yeah, I'll jump in on this one, Trent. Yeah. Integrating workflow is tough. I think in an industry that's as old as ours, as new processes and teams come in, they kind of stack up on each other rather than maybe integrate. Kind of speaking from my own personal experience, I was a reserves engineer in my last job. We'd work throughout the year on a reserves database, put together all our information, present it to management. But at the same time, right next door, there was a budgeting and a planning team working on the exact same wells, we'd come out with a different answer on value and volume. We could rectify that at the end of the year, but at the end of the day, we're trying to make business decisions, properly understand our risk, and be confident whether we're renewing our borrowing base or maybe making an acquisition. So it was kind of striking, and I think had we built a more unified workflow, we could have made some more confident decisions.
Ryan, you got any examples?
I would find that a lot of times when you are worried about is the data the same in this system as it is in that system, you're suffering from a non-unified workflow. So we do a lot of work to make sure things are flowing seamlessly. It's all working from the same data set. In past lives and at past companies, we spent more time making sure our numbers tied to each other rather than doing the actual technical work of adding value and driving type curves and just looking at our production. So making sure everything talks to each other seamlessly is kind of key in our simplifying systems.
Yeah.
It sort of sounds like the single version of the truth.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that I lean on from my past is, that transfer of work, right? As an engineer, we're responsible for high dollar, decisions. So being able to take that time back of maintaining, things from a database infrastructure perspective, right? I don't have to go and maybe manage those access queries as much as I used to because I've got everything in that one spot that has a utility and it's built for purpose. One thing that really comes from the background that I have is, type curve process, having to transfer information from multiple systems to get one job done, and really taking that into a consolidated place really lets you accelerate and lets you be a little bit more confident with every step.
Okay, we're going to get into this a little bit more, but I'm going to take this moment to remind everybody who's watching, send in some questions to us or comments. We're going to try to get to those at the end here. Dylan, we talked about the problem of unification. I think we've defined that pretty well. So tell me about what ComboCurve is trying to do on this front.
Yeah. I think I've talked a little bit about the process, and I think that's where ComboCurve can really shine. We build a platform where we try to keep you in it as much as possible, like we say, where you can forecast, type curve, and run your economics. And not only that, but it's a very user-friendly tool as well. So teams that find the most success, companies or teams, they bring in multiple teams, not only their reservoir engineers to kind of do that reserves update, but their production engineers to help understand the planning, understand their workovers. And on top of that, we have landman and the accounting teams as well that kind of all work in there. Like we're talking about, work off the same sheet of music, and everyone just feels more confident. The type curves are always in one spot, so budgeting is never out of the loop when the reservoir team kind of updates something. So it really allows people to act with more agility as well as confidence.
It sounds like everybody's got sort of a role to play in the platform.
Yeah, definitely.
And Ryan, so can you give us an example of how this tool's helped you achieve unification?
Yeah, we used to do our reserves in one system, our production forecasts and monthly updates in another system, and a few more for our type curves. We've brought everything into ComboCurve now, and all of our assets are using it for their DCAs. It's tying directly into the reserves right now. We've made it talk to our other programs corporately so that people can pull type curves and DCAs directly from ComboCurve into other tools that they need. And we've also made it really easy to push stuff back into there. So that's kind of where everybody's looking at production data, and it's really nice because you pull it up on the web. It's not archaic software that not everybody likes to use. It's pretty simple for people to get up the learning curve, and it's kind of becoming our single source of truth for production forecasting and type curves now.
And go back to how important is it for people to be able to the whole egress, getting things out, and I imagine they want to go port some of this information into their favorite tool, and so is that one of those ways of keeping everybody happy?
Yep. You want everybody working off, we've said, the same sheet of music all the time, but you also don't want to limit their flexibility. Not everybody's comfortable in Spotfire as they are in Tableau or ComboCurve or whatever else there is. So being able to have a single source is the truth, but also give people the flexibility. Our data management systems really make that seamless, and ComboCurve's in and out tools, sync tools, and API have also really empowered us to do that on our own and make it really easy.
Trevor, Dylan, why don't you wrap up things for us a little bit here on telling us, what's next for ComboCurve, and then we'll answer that audience question and get into some of the Q&A. But what's on the horizon for you guys?
Yeah, that's Good question. We're focused on our customers first and foremost. We are focused on the core offering that we have today and improving that. What that means is more utility for, whatever user it is, from reserves to production to obviously asset. And so that could mean, more functionality when it comes to maybe looking at multiple plots when I'm defending that forecast in that process, and or, expanding upon how we can take more computation to run multiple scenarios within that module. But again, just focus on that core offering and the customer facing.
And I'll just say too that I think I envision this process as kind of two tiers. You manage your teams and your workflows, but also data is so very important. And I was talking with Ryan about this actually just yesterday, how daunting that could be, especially if you're not a major company with this huge IT team and all of these tech wizards. But he kind of mentioned to me that it's not as daunting as it seems. You just have to start somewhere. So getting all your data in one place is a really good step for anybody out there that wants to start on this process of unifying your data and then unifying your teams. So it's as easy as kind of hopping onto like a software like Azure, and they have tons of documents and videos to help you kind of build out that initial database. And that's a really good start to this path to unification.
Yeah, I guess what's great about where we are now versus even 5, 7 years ago is that there's so many of these foundational tools ready that there's almost, you're not waiting on anything to be invented at this point to jump on and get organized. Let's put on the poll question or the audience question. And can we see what people said to that? All right, an average work week, how many different teams do you work with? Looks like the most popular answer that I'm getting was 5 to 10. So is that a lot, guys? In your experience, is that normal? Where does that range fall for you?
Yeah, in my past, it was definitely not 5 to 10. It was probably 3 to 4 when it came to working with production, ops in general, and then reserves and budget planning. But, working from a private operator experience, I can't speak for these guys, but it's usually about 3 to 4 for me.
I'd say it's pretty normal for me. Maybe not on the 10 side. It's easy to talk to 5 different groups, but I think that goes hand in hand with the size of the company you're working for. If you're small, when I've worked at small shops, it's only a few different people. You can't even call them teams. It's just the other members. Whereas a larger corporation, everything's a little bit more siloed, so you have to talk to each other quite a bit more. So.
Okay. Well, let's pull up and see if we have any questions from the audience. And Dylan, looks like I got one for you real quick. What is the biggest struggle to adopting a unified workflow? So think about the bottlenecks, the reasons why people say I can't do this.
Yeah. We see it a lot. We talk to people that are just really embedded in their old workflows. They may not be very efficient, but they've been there a long time. So you've got people that are subject matter experts in a certain platform. They're sending out data from one program to 10 different teams. So it's a heavy lift to make that initial change. And I think your process probably slows down a little bit initially just to get everyone transitioned over, to get all the right outputs and the data is connected. So it's probably pretty scary, to make that change. And so you just kind of have to take that leap.
What is that transition process like? How long does that take for an average company? Speaking from to do the onboarding and bring them into the environment.
Speaking from like ComboCurve in general, we get people onboarded and comfortable with the tool pretty quickly. We have a couple different methods. Sometimes people adopt ComboCurve and use it for just one process, like their A&D evaluations and their AFE workflows. And then maybe after a year, everyone's comfortable in the tool, they fully understand it, and then it's time to really make that heavy push to adopting your entire reserves workflow or doing your budgeting in ComboCurve. So yeah. You kind of take it at your own pace.
Yeah, and one thing I'd add to that is, it starts with the data. A lot of people want to have the Lamborghini and move as fast as that Lamborghini can, but if you don't have that infrastructure, obviously that's the first step. And that's what really people, I think, that I've felt have realized. If you really want to take advantage of modern technology, we've got to get the data in the right place.
Mm-hmm. All right, Trevor, Dylan, Ryan, I got another one. Let's see if I can read this. Whoever can answer this question, what can data integrations alleviate or enhance in terms of cost, value, or deliverables? So what are some of the real tangible upsides? Maybe you should go first.
Number one thing is time saving. I think we've all been there searching for different pieces of data. When you make it really easy, you're saving people time. You're adding time to value. That's real the first thing. And second thing is incorrect answers. So if everybody's working off the same sheet, it makes it really easy to get the right answers. There's been numerous times where you're loading it from spreadsheets. I've seen like gas and oil columns get mixed up, and it takes everybody a little while to figure that out. And sometimes it doesn't even get caught. You're like, this gas well is not producing very much. So getting the answers right and saving time are my top 2 picks, I think.
What about you guys? What have you seen?
Yeah, one thing that we've seen is really kind of the collaboration, right? So when I think about my experience and what I've seen with a few clients is call it between production and reservoir, right? You're not having to potentially wait for reservoir to run the economics, because you have the utility of a built for purpose tool that everybody's using the same economics from, that you understand well. And so you can make those decisions and kind of float the idea right to reservoir instead of waiting potentially on that economic answer. Another good one would be, when it comes to budget and planning, as we've talked about, right? Not having to go to 3 different sources of a different forecast potentially. Everybody's familiar with the same tool and being able to accelerate their decisions. And then lastly, I would say, non-op election processes, being able to stay in front of the frequency of those elections that you're getting, right? Now you can have an EOR potentially on every well. You can analyze and have that 9-spot analysis, and then maybe have geology additionally layer that risk in, where before, it was, let's understand what this opportunity looks like, and then let's run all the numbers. The numbers can be already run, and now you're just making decisions and really more on strategy than you are on, trying to get through the functionality of the process.
And Ryan talked about catching mistakes and errors, and then we also talked about collaboration. It sounds like what you're talking about relies heavily on collaboration. So just talk about, I guess, some the functionality there of how are people interacting together on the platform versus the old way on a static Excel, and then filing that through the internet or through email instead of working on a unified platform.
Yeah. Dylan, you want to take that?
Sure, yeah. So it's completely cloud-based, all access through your web browser. So anybody in the company that has a login can hop in from any computer and see not only their projects they're working on, but everybody's in the company that they're allowed to. So yeah, that just means having access to the budget team's type curves, having access to the schedules of maybe your planning department. And it really, at the end of the day, it all comes down to confidence. So yeah, like Trevor and Ryan have both said, the more time you have, the more collaboration you have with your team, the more confident you are, and that can make or break a deal even. If you feel confident in a number, maybe you do get more aggressive and you do make that acquisition. So it really does get pretty tangible once you look at it.
Well, I'll end on this one. What's the question we're not asking here? About unification, data management, or ComboCurve. What's the thing that we're missing here?
Automation and AI, I think, and these guys have touched on it with some of their type curve and auto forecasting tools, but I think at some point, it's going to be a long time because we're kind of control freaks in this industry, but there's going to be a point in time where we're not really touching the data every day. We're just reviewing and QCing it as opposed to actually doing the analysis thing. I hope not, because I still want to have a job in 10, 20 years, but you never know. So,
yeah. So the AI is coming. It's getting more powerful every day. We hear that in almost every talk that we go to here at ATCE. Well, I think that brings us to about the end of our discussion here. So Trevor, Dylan, Ryan, we really appreciate you joining us today on today's SPE Tech Talk here at ATCE 2024. And if people want to get in touch with you guys, can we put up the graphic there? If you want to learn more, here's the best way to do that. Get in touch with Trevor, Dylan, or Ryan here. You can also get in touch with myself. But we really thank you all again for watching, and special thanks to ComboCurve for their support here at ATCE 2024 here in New Orleans. You can watch this episode again or all of our other ones on the SPE Energy Stream, the industry's digital pulse. Visit streaming.spe.org. I'm your host, Trent Jacobs, and goodbye.
Don't miss a moment of any of the great SPE LinkedIn Live events. From the event page, click Attend and Add to Calendar for notification reminders when an SPE LinkedIn Live event is ready to begin. SPE Lives, Tech Talks, Get to Know series, and more. Remember, click Attend on LinkedIn.
In a rapidly evolving energy industry, you need to stay ahead of the curve. with relevant content available when and where it's convenient for you. You need the upgraded SPE Energy Stream, the global platform for high-quality content with the energy industry. Fuel your energy career with Energy Stream's sleek new look and easy access to top-quality technical solutions, insights and innovations, trending topics, thought leadership, market outlooks, and education. From original programs to exclusive SPE event highlights, this exciting, easy-to-navigate platform features insightful content delivered live and on demand. Explore insights from industry thought leaders. Then save the videos that interest you and watch them at your convenience. Be at the forefront of energy knowledge and explore the newly updated SPE Energy Stream now.
Live from ATCE 2024, the Society of Petroleum Engineers presents SPE Tech Talk.